For decades, we've argued about our cities, what they should look like, what their characters should be, but what if we've been having the wrong conversation the whole time? What if a city isn't really a work of art, but a piece of software, an operating system that runs our lives? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into that idea, a pretty radical way of seeing our cities not as something to argue about, but as an OS that we can actually debug, optimize, and upgrade.
Okay, so look at this. On the left, that's the old, buggy operating system a lot of us are running right now, the dormitory suburb. Its main job is basically just storing people and cars. The result? Something the source material calls negative productivity. Think endless traffic, loneliness, you get the picture. But on the right, that's the upgrade, the complete neighborhood. It's not about storage, it's a living, breathing ecosystem designed for, life. It's a completely different way of thinking.
And this quote right here, it just nails the whole idea. The goal is to get away from all the subjective fighting about what looks nice and move toward a clear, objective, rules-based system that's just designed to work for everyone. You replace the endless debates with a clean, functional code that gets the job done.
All right, so here's the game plan. We're going to walk through the key upgrades for this new urban OS. First, we'll talk about the hardware, this really powerful idea called the urban dam. Then we'll install the new software, a new set of rules for how things get built. We'll see what kind of city this new code actually creates, and then wrap up with a really important question about the trade-offs. Okay, first things first. To make a city work better on the inside, you've got to stop it from just endlessly leaking outwards. So this system starts with a really bold idea, a hard boundary. And they have this fantastic metaphor for it, the urban dam. Now, it's not a real physical wall, of course. Think of it as a super strong legal and financial barrier. And it has one job and one job only: stop unplanned sprawl in its tracks and protect the productive countryside. So this dam creates two totally different zones. Inside the dam, you've got the reservoir, or the urbanization promoting area. This is where you want growth to happen. The infrastructure is guaranteed, and dense, smart development is what you're aiming for. But then outside the dam, you have the hinterland, or the urbanization control area. Out there, subdividing land is a no-go, all to protect farmland from being eaten up by sprawl.
And check this out, because this shows just how clever the economics are. That dotted red line, that's land value today, where everyone's just speculating that farmland will eventually be turned into houses. But the solid blue line, that's what happens when you have that urban dam. It totally kills the speculation. Suddenly the land is valued for what it actually produces. For farmers, this is a game changer. It gives them the economic certainty to actually invest in their land for the long haul.
So, we've contained the city. Now it's time to install the new software. We're talking a set of clear, objective rules that are designed to replace those endless, painful debates about neighborhood character.
A key piece of this new code is something called the Newcomer's principle. And it's so simple, it's brilliant. Basically, whoever shows up and introduces something new and potentially disruptive is the one responsible for dealing with the negative side effects. So, if you want to build new apartments next to an old, noisy factory, guess what? It's on you to pay for the soundproofing. It's a simple rule that stops fights before they can even start.
Here's a perfect real-world example. A developer wants to build apartments right next to a busy, loud train line. Okay, fine. But under the Newcomer principle, the cost for top-of-the-line soundproofing and special ventilation is just baked into the project from day one. The railway doesn't have to change a thing. The Newcomer adapts. Simple.
Now, let's talk about another piece of the code. This one is super simple and really easy to remember. 330-300. It's a non-negotiable rule that's all about weaving nature right into the fabric of the city. So what does it mean? Let's break it down. The first number, 3, every single person should be able to see at least 3 trees from their window. That's for mental health. The next number, 30, every neighborhood must have at least 30% tree canopy cover, which basically acts like a natural air conditioner. And finally, 300. Everyone has to live within 300 meters of a decent park. It's simple, you can measure it, and it's mandatory.
And this is where the thinking really shifts. In this new operating system, nature isn't just some pretty decoration you add at the end if there's money left over. No way. It's treated as green utility. It's essential biological infrastructure, just as critical to our health as clean water and electricity.
Okay, so we've stopped the sprawl, we've installed these new objective rules. So what happens? What kind of place does this new OS actually create? Let's take a look. And here you go, the result. This is the perfect before and after. On the left, you've got the old way, life in that dormitory suburb, where you're stuck in your car for everything. But on the right, that's what the new code creates.
A vibrant, bustling community where your job, the shops, the park, the train, it's all just a short walk away.
Let's just break down the data here, because the difference is stark. Economically, the old suburb literally creates negative productivity, all that wasted time and traffic. The complete neighborhood, though, is an active 24/7 ecosystem. Socially, the old way leads to isolation. The new system is designed from the ground up to create connection and community. It's a complete flip in priorities.
What this all builds up to is this really cool concept called positive social friction. You know what that is? It's that energy, that vibrancy you feel when you mix homes and jobs and cafes all together. It's those little chance encounters, bumping into people you know at the store. That's the lifeblood of a real community, and it's the very thing the old model was accidentally designed to prevent.
But let's be honest, a system this structured and this organized, well, it doesn't come for free. It requires us to make a fundamental choice. And that brings us to our final question: what's the trade-off?
The source material puts the dilemma perfectly with this quote. I mean, on the one hand, this new OS offers incredible certainty and protection for farmers, for developers, for residents. But, and it's a big but, the price for all that certainty is that you have to accept a system that's based on objective rules, not just subjective opinions.
And so, that's the big question we're left with. Is a society like Aotearoa, or really any society, ready to make that trade? Are we ready to exchange a little bit of individual freedom for the certainty and the efficiency that comes with a much more structured, rules-based operating system for our cities? It's a powerful idea to think about.